It's time for Debrief, your weekly roundup of TRT World's top stories.
What's this? Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
US President Donald Trump has hosted the first meeting of his Board of Peace, with roughly $17 billion committed to the reconstruction of Gaza. Representatives from more than 45 member states assembled in the US Capitol to announce strategies to rebuild the war-torn Strip. The disarmament of Hamas, the withdrawal of Israeli troops, and the flow of humanitarian aid are amongst the major questions likely to test the effectiveness of the board.
But it has to be said there wasn't a great deal of substance in what was delivered today. Yes, the Americans pledged $10 billion towards the reconstruction of Gaza. We heard about other countries, in addition to Indonesia, supplying forces for the International Stabilization Force, and Egypt has pledged to train the new Palestinian police force. But there wasn't really any detailed discussion of ending Israel's occupation of Gaza.
Decisions are made about the future of Gaza without the involvement of Palestinians.
It's not going to succeed. I mean, it's pretty clear to me that what Trump is trying to do is trying to do his own thing, trying to promote his own brand of peace, but that's not going to be peace.
Another Palestinian woman also puts it like this: they're designing our future without asking how we are surviving our present.
Now, a new report in Gaza has revealed that the number of Palestinians killed in the first 16 months of the war was far higher than previously reported by local authorities. The study was first published by the medical journal The Lancet. It found that more than 72,000 people suffered violent deaths in that time period.
The Israeli military is restricting Palestinian access to the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem. Hundreds have been stopped at military checkpoints, and many have not been able to attend the first Friday prayers of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan.
And with all these restrictions, imagine 10,000 permits given to 3.3 million Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. That's a drop in the ocean.
There was some progress reported in Iranian talks with the U.S. in Geneva this week, and in an interview, Iran's president said his nation is not pursuing a nuclear weapon and is willing to agree to international monitoring.
Amid threats of U.S. military action against Iran, a Russian warship has docked at an Iranian naval base to take part in joint drills with the Iranian Navy.
Donald Trump has given Iran 10 to 15 days to reach a nuclear deal. This as the US Army reportedly prepares for possible strikes on Iran and has built up the largest military presence in the Middle East since 2003. The latest round of US-mediated talks have been described by Russia as difficult, while Ukraine says they were substantive and that progress has been made. Day 2 of the meetings in Geneva is said to have lasted only 2 hours and comes just days before the 4th anniversary of Russia's invasion. The thorny issue of territory remains the main sticking point.
Talks will go on following so-called progress, but with no details on what exactly progress means. So it's back to the drawing board. Substantive and constructive seems to be the words used by officials following this latest trilateral meeting, if not all the ones before it. Safe to say both sides are becoming increasingly frustrated.
For the more trenchant issues, any kind of withdrawal of Ukrainian troops from the front line, particularly in Donetsk, the remaining portion of the Donbass that Russia is yet to occupy, that remains a very sticky issue, as does really the overall issue of future security guarantees.
In the United States, where the Supreme Court has dealt Donald Trump a massive blow, striking down his illegal global tariffs. The ruling opens the door to potentially hundreds of billions of dollars in refunds and has major implications for the world economy.
The Supreme Court has ruled in their favour and against President Trump, giving him a huge slapdown. In oral arguments, Chief Justice John Roberts said that essentially that the tariffs were an imposition of tax on Americans.
And here's even more stories with the news in brief.
NATO is conducting its largest military exercise of the year in Germany. It's the second deployment of the alliance's Allied Reaction Force, and it aims to show that NATO can act swiftly and stand united against threats.
Steadfast Art 2026 officially began at the start of January, but today has marked the first most significant exercise of that operation so far. It has involved around 11 countries, more than 10,000 troops throughout its duration, we've been told. The most significant contribution today came from Turkey. We witnessed amphibious landing craft, many of which were coming from the Anadolu, seen just on the shoreline. We've also seen Turkish troops coming in those craft as well, Spanish divers, Turkish attack helicopters, and somewhere in the skies above the Bayraktar TB3 as well, the first time that we understand that has been involved in a NATO military exercise.
Over to Sudan, where a UN fact-finding mission says the atrocities committed by the Rapid Support Forces in Al-Fashir late last year met the hallmarks of genocide. The RSF had taken control of Al-Fashir in October after an 18-month siege. It was the last remaining stronghold of the Sudanese army in the Darfur region.
Survivors described men being bound and shot in groups, bodies left unburied along routes, and wounded persons executed at close range. In some instances, women and children were also killed.
Lately, the Sudanese army has been regaining control of some territory, and much of the fighting has now moved over to the wider Kordofan area. The UN says at least 57 civilians were killed in drone strikes on Sunday and Monday by both the RSF and the Sudanese army. But peace still remains elusive. And on Friday, the Sudanese army chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan said he won't agree to a truce unless the RSF pulls back. And once one of the worst affected countries by HIV, Zimbabwe has started administering the HIV prevention drug on Thursday, making it one of the first countries globally to do so.
Zimbabwe was the first country to introduce the National AIDS Trust Fund, better known as AIDS Levy, in the 1990s, which helped raise funds to fight then a raging HIV/AIDS pandemic. At the launch of the Lenacapavir, Dr. Douglas Mombe showed up, Zimbabwe's Minister of Health, while calling the drug a game changer. He's urging caution among citizens as the new drug does not replace other prevention methods. He added that 46,500 would be the first recipients of the drug. The government is mainly targeting key populations, women, sex workers, and teenagers first.
Another scandal for Britain's royal family. King Charles's brother, Andrew, formerly Prince Andrew, was arrested on Thursday following a complaint that while he was a trade envoy for the British government, he passed confidential material to the convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. His close friendship with Epstein has long followed Andrew, and despite repeatedly denying any wrongdoing, he agreed to an over $16 million settlement with Virginia Giuffre in 2022, who had accused him of sexually abusing her at Epstein's estates when she was just a teenager.
Charles III was at home when he learnt about his younger brother's arrest, which he said he learned with the deepest concern, that the authorities had his full support and cooperation, and he wouldn't be making any further comment on the matter. The constant stream of revelations about his younger brother have led the king to strip him of his titles and to push him to the very fringes of the royal family. But this is still a significant development, given he's the first senior royal to be arrested since King Charles I in 1647.
The former prince was released later on Thursday, but he's facing charges of misconduct and willfully neglecting his duties. If found guilty, he could face a maximum sentence of life imprisonment.
And here's what it's like covering the stories behind the scenes.
Officials here have also told us that this place is heavily mined, so they're warning us against touching anything, anywhere.
And just check this out. Pictures of the ringleader of the PKK terrorist organization.
This room is full of ammunition. It's clear that they left this place in a rush. You can see RPG over there and bullets across this room. I was like, should I go? Should I not? Is it safe for us? Is it not? I had many questions on my mind because you don't know, this place has been recently discovered. So this, apparently, from what I was told, PKK, YPG, they were there, and this tunnel was one of their main headquarters. This is where some of the top leadership of the PKK, YPG would come and visit because you even had air conditioners over there. So could their people still be inside? Maybe yes, maybe not. So we took a risk because I think it's really important for us to show our audience what the SDF and YPG had been building deep underground in northern Syria while they were controlling that region. So we went inside, and the soldier who accompanied us, he told us, make sure you guys don't touch anything because you never know. So we listened to that, of course, because this is very important for us as journalists operating on the field. You have to listen to the locals, what the officials are telling you, because sometimes, of course, we tend to take risks which are basically completely out of proportion, and they tend to result in tragedies. So after we filmed the tunnel and everything, saw those strange things like the tunnel, and we are driving, and then I get this message from a friend of mine. It's a tweet by a news agency, which basically says that there was a booby trap mine explosion inside a tunnel in northern Syria and 3 soldiers were killed. I opened the tweet and I see the video, and I remember telling my team, you guys won't believe what happened. So, moments like these, I think they stay with you, especially when you know that you took such a big risk. Of course, we did our best in terms of minimizing the risk, but in the end, these are very, very, very dangerous areas. So if soldiers can get killed there, the ones who have training for such environments, for us, I mean, it's actually even easier to become victim to such places. So I think a lot of it has to do, why do we take such risks? A lot of it has to do with the fact that we are passionate journalists. We like telling stories of other people. We like discovering things that we believe could be of importance to the audience. But other than that, I think it's also this belief that once you enter hostile environments, someone might be praying for you, because even during that conversation in the car that I had with my team, Hassan Arbar and Ma'am Farouk, when we heard this news, we all basically said that our mom's prayers are working. Thank God it didn't happen when we were there. But of course, it's tragic for the soldiers who were there.